These songs have aged badly, some of which took a while to be seen as a problem, others were much quicker. One thing's for sure, many people don't talk about some songs the way they used to, and here's another list of 10 songs that age like milk. I made a video like this years ago, so if you want to see the first list with those songs, check it out in the video description. Not ranking these, just a list of songs that age poorly due to lyrical content, real-life situations, and overall how much I dislike all of them. If you like these songs, go for it. I don't know what else to tell you at this point. Here are some songs that age terribly. If at any point you think a song on this list sucks, hit the like button. There were several Disturbed songs I could have chosen for this list, as Disturbed has had many anti-war songs and really made passionate pleas to end violence, but all that means nothing when David Draymond would later sign a weapon of war for a good photo op. No More hasn't aged well because this song is about saying no to endless war and justifying the deaths of others. Those lyrics don't mean much when you're writing the F-bomb on an actual bomb and laughing about it while that bomb would be later used with the defense of it being necessary. Yeah, that doesn't work that way. The hypocrisy was noticed instantly and has been called out repeatedly for Draymond's actions, who still doubles down on it. But all that anti-war and motivational songs that Disturbed has written over the years, especially No More, literally means nothing now. All just a gimmick. I'm all for getting political in music, but is it too much to ask to stand by your own message and not do the opposite of what your song means? Take me back to the oh-wah-ah days. At least then Disturbed weren't raging hypocrites. You know how The Dirt and later watered-down dramatization of The Dirt on Netflix shined a light on just how bad Motley Crue were? Especially the Crue as people? Well, these Saints of Los Angeles also didn't look good in 2008 when the title track to Saints of Los Angeles, the album, was released. The track was originally meant about the band signing their life away to a record deal and doing all the bad things they wanted to because they could. Turns out, they went way further than most bands that sign record labels, with a collection of mugshots and lifetime of allegations to prove it. Well, allegations with hard evidence and omissions, so facts. I have to dance around the topics, but think of all the evil things people go to jail for. That's Motley Crue. And in this song, they are singing proudly about how wild and bad they are. Years later, they would shoot a new music video for it to accompany The Dirt on Netflix, and somehow it's worse. In the original version, they also had lines from the Lord's Prayer included in the group vocals, because if there's one thing that Motley Crue are known for, it's their religious praise and spirituality. A song like this just proved Motley Crue were creeps, and as the years go on, it gets worse. Also, the music gets worse. The song isn't great. Motley Crue now isn't great. I'm glad that Mars Volta beat them for a Grammy in 2008 also. That was well deserved. The return of Rush this past year after losing Neil Peart is great to see, and reliving Rush songs is something everyone should do at some point. But you can skip Roll the Bones, as that song is a product of its time. 1991, where rap and hip-hop were even influencing Canadian prog. The birth of grunge meant nothing to Rush. The big influence was the rap scene at the time for Roll the Bones. I'm all for being influenced outside of your own genre and sound, but Rush and rap is a hard sell, especially to die-hard prog fans who only want proggy rock. To everyone else, it comes off as a nerdy dad trying to be cool and rap in front of the family. The opening groove and almost spoken word part feels 90s instantly, and then around 3 minutes in, the modded voice of Geddy Lee comes in. They lowered his pitch to have him rap to make it sound like someone else was rapping, I think. They kind of shopped around to see if another hip-hop artist would do it, but then they just said, you know what, let's just have Geddy do it with a lower pitch. There's a lot of theories out there, but yeah, that's Lee performing because 90s. Why are we here? Great question. They would do this song live. I mean, that's brave. I'm willing to bet it was a bunch of 2112 fans glaring at the band until they got through the song and played the great Rush content after. R.I.P. Neil. I hope they continue to honor your legacy live and don't play this one anytime soon. Even Annika doesn't deserve that. All of Emmure's discography has aged poorly. I could end the segment now, but I want to point out one example for proof of that, and this is the first iteration of Emmure before the entire band realized Frankie wasn't worth being around. I mean, the song and lyrics of Drug Dealer Friend prove that Frankie sucks alone. You know how trashcore bands have a tendency to bring out the worst in metalcore and hardcore? Well, this song embodies what trash fans think music should sound like. Hating on women, using women, being violent towards women, laughing at women, and then expecting women to think you are cool. In that order. I just summed up Emmure, their fan base, and this song. Some Emmure fans might argue that this is what a bad person would say, and that's why the lyrics are like that. They wanted shock value and thought it was funny. Put aside the fact that the sound's awful across the board in tone and quality and mixing, but what's sad about this is that Emmure never matured from this style. Even after so many members have changed, it's Frankie Palmieri being a creep and pretending to be tough. I mean, there's a market for that, I guess. Also, Frankie couldn't think of more lyrics than edgelord aggression towards women, so he just repeated himself. This was shock value in 2011, and it's almost a manifesto towards women. Makes me wonder if Palmieri has actually had a positive experience with a woman ever. Emmure has problems. Speaking of trashcore garbage aimed at women, what a trend. Asking Alexandria, who looked like this in 2009, were definitely up to no good in their real lives, namely Danny Warsnop, and made a song about how hot a woman looks and all the things they want to force her to do. This is not a love song. It's pretty much assault levels in Not the American Average. The lyric line, "Your thighs were made for cheeks to graze," might be one of the worst attempts to sound sexy that I've ever heard in my life. This band has a lot of ups and downs, and looking back now, they've had more downs overall. I include this song as being something to boost their career as a big misstep. Even if this was a trend in that time, I still feel that time frame needs to be left in the past in general. Also doesn't help, the song is sang like an emo pop-punk style on top of blast beats and low riffs. It's awful. So awful, in fact, that Danny Warsnop and Asking Alexandria retired the song back in 2018, with Warsnop saying he hated performing it. I mean, that was still a solid 8 or 9 years you ran with it, but at least you understood eventually. I mean, I would at least take all black wearing Warsnop at Warped Tour over 2009 creepy assault Danny. I'm not huge on Sublime. I know many people are. Fine. There is a reason that Sublime gets airplay on alternative stations out there, but they definitely don't play Date Rape like they did anymore, as the song is written as a comical, funny story about the subject matter at hand. To quote Bradley, "We were all at a party a long time ago, and we were all talking about how much date rape sucked. This guy was like, date rape isn't so bad. If it wasn't for date rape, I'd never get laid." Everyone at the party was bummed out about it, but I was cracking up and I wrote a funny song about it. There's a reason I didn't show my face while I read that quote, by the way. Just focus in on the song and meaning, and even if it was meant as a revenge story or something meant to be comical about a monster getting what he deserved, it doesn't make the song easier to hear now. I don't care how catchy the rhythm is in the chorus or how good the horns are. Sublime did note that they thought it was one of their worst songs and always hesitated to play it live in the 90s, but they played it anyway. Side note, the music video has somehow aged worse than the song because it features former adult star and convicted SA felon in multiple roles, including a prison inmate who gives out the punishment in prison that the person went to jail for in the first place. Because that's funny. Oh. Hard to dance around this one without going into detail now that Anti-Flag is completely done as a band due to the many allegations and accusations of Justin Sane over the years. A song like No Apology now feels like it has new meaning considering how many terrible things Sane was accused of and that the other members have completely moved on from. I have a cringe sound effect from Crash Thompson that I play on the podcast every now and then. Yeah, it applies here. I could also have just chosen many more Anti-Flag songs, but something about Justin Sane writing lyrics about women's rights and dangers in the lyrics doesn't hold up as well anymore considering, well, Justin Sane didn't always have women's interests in mind. It's hard to keep a video like this lighthearted when you have such a politically charged anthem about how unfair culture can be, and then finding out it's written by a man who was cruel to others. Oddly enough, much of Anti-Flag's material now follows under that description. That sucks. This was a solid band for decades. No apology is what you get from the singer and songwriter, though. No apology after so much awful behavior and the end of a good band that did inspire people over the years. Yeah, cringe is the right sound effect and term for this. Speaking of creepy and cringe, I had several Aerosmith suggestions for this topic, and Aerosmith is an all-time iconic rock and roll name with countless singles, and Lord of the Thighs from 1974 should stay back in 74. I get this was a live staple for decades, and it encapsulates Aerosmith's raw rock and roll style from that decade. But now, after Steven Tyler's round of accusations and court dates, it doesn't sound great to hear about a man singing down to the girl about who is waiting for a man and hearing lyrics like, "You're the bait and you're the hook, someone bound to take a look." Oh, 70s were a different time. I'm glad we can all call out inappropriate rock star behavior even if it ruins a song when looking at it in hindsight and comparing it to the actual musician's behavior. Almost as if a classic rock bands were all a little bit sketchy and abused their status towards women. And girls. This got dark. This track was featured in GTA 4, so were a lot of other songs that weren't as unfortunately worrying. When I play Grand Theft Auto 4, a game about debauchery, I don't want to be reminded about IRL debauchery. Wait. I'm not making the best point. Also, Lord of the Thighs is a terrible name to play around with Lord of the Flies. That's what junior high kids would make up and giggle about. I hate how badly this song has aged, and it's aged for the worst reasons that we all should have realized sooner. I also think we should have realized something about Red Hot Chili Peppers, especially Anthony Kiedis, a long time ago, especially with the 1985 song Catholic Schoolgirls Rule. I also hate that I had to type in the song title into my browser. I hope I'm not on the list now. The track is literally about a 14-year-old Catholic schoolgirl that Kiedis met on tour in his 20s. And he talks about it in his autobiography as well, and how hot he thought she was. That's it. The reason that this song hasn't aged well is because Anthony never grew up past that age frame of thinking high school girls are hot, even in his 50s and 60s. Fast forward a few decades, and Kiedis was at one point dating a 19-year-old while in his 50s. In present day, he's dating a woman who is still 30 years younger than him while he's in his 60s. I mean, I guess that's progress. Ugh. When you hear the lyrics about what the good book says and temptation, and it's not mattering to Kiedis because Catholic schoolgirls rule, you understand why this song has only ever been played live less than 5 times? How many times could I gross myself out in this video? This song is barely 2 minutes, and since it was made in the mid-80s, it's older than most of Kiedis' ex-romantic partners. Quote, "The good book says we must confess." Yeah, and then you should stop the bad behavior, Anthony.
Kiss my ass and you can suck a dick sideways.
Behold, the worst thing to ever come from Detroit. People keep telling me that Detroit has really made a rebound over the last few years and cleaned up the city. And I think part of that is because Kid Rock grifted so much that Detroit disowned him years ago and left him in Nashville. Don't Tell Me How to Live is less than 5 years old and was mercifully mocked when released. Even Weird Al Yankovic had to address it as not being a parody when it came out because it was written so badly. Also, has anyone checked on Monster Truck for being part of this? The Canadian rock band who nuked their career for being associated with this Jan 6 anthem. The Boss is selling out arenas in 2026 and is headlining a massive fundraiser festival. You couldn't even scam small towns into selling out fields before bands started dropping off. The lyrics are absolutely the same cheese that Kid Rock has cashed in on. He's tough and you can't handle him. First and Second Amendment, Detroit for life, and you're all Mayberry. That's a real statement too. He used an Andy Griffith Show reference from the 60s because Kid Rock definitely has his finger on the pulse of today's age. Mayberry. Kid Rock cannot stop bootlicking, and as the years go by, this song seems to be embarrassing even for those on the conservative and fascist orange side. Oh well, Kid Rock is telling people how to treat him, but also making sure people don't tell him how to live. That's dumb by even cowboy and ball to ball standards.
Troy till I die, motherfucker.
Nashville snowflake till the day he dies. Nashville Predators. Kid Rock is a predator that's now in Nashville. Man, Nashville has a bad rap now. There are definitely more songs that age poorly in heavy music, and I will never be able to cover them all, so leave a comment and let everyone know what you think a song is that did not age well. You could just pretty much guess a hair metal band from the 80s, and they most likely have at least one. Please hit the like button if you enjoyed this, subscribe if you want more videos like this, check out the podcast that rocked, link in the video description, and finally, here's some animal footage. Here we have Ivan all suited up, ready to go to Grandma's. We're about to pack him up in the car. We're getting everything ready for him. He sometimes doesn't love car rides, but sometimes he just conks out. We're hoping for the latter. He's a good boy, and we're hoping to have a good weekend with him.